It is April 30th, 2024. It is 8:12 a.m. Good morning, everyone. So I'm finally back in my office, home office, and I can actually do a proper log. um, yeah, it was kind of. I'm just reflecting what happened yesterday and during the weekend, and I realized it was just so busy that it was just chaotic. But I think my decision yesterday of saying that during the week, audio log makes sense because I can actually speak properly without any setups or anything like that. And doing a an audio log with a video content with a video companion to it on weekends actually makes a lot more sense than they initially looked at it, because weekends is a little bit more interesting. I want to show more, right? But for the weekdays, it's just, it's a typical work day. If it's a typical work day, you don't want to have like if you were listening to the log to this podcast, you just don't want to watch it because sometimes watching it can be very distracting. But if you're listening to it, it makes more sense, right? So I think that's why I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to start this weekend or this coming weekend. It'll be gradually going into a log, an audio log with a video, a companion to it. Probably not this weekend or not the following weekend, but soon it will slowly, gradually going into it. Again, I still have to do some testings, just getting the right things because I don't want to just jump into it and next thing you know I'm learning while I'm doing it. I'd rather get it done properly before releasing it, right? So, yeah. So let's talk about the weather. The weather is actually kind of interesting today. Yesterday it was warm but cold in the same time, typical fall weather. And today it is the high of 15 degrees, but it's raining. At this time of year, having a warm weather is not going to be does not mean it's going to be warm. If it's overcast and raining, that means you lose 10 degrees, in my opinion. That's not very scientific, but you lose 10 degrees automatically. So because of the combination of the wind, the rain, the overcast, it just feels cold, like cold in the bone. It's a very typical Southern Ontario weather. That it's so humidly cold, it just goes straight into your bones, right? But if let's just say it's 15 degrees and it's sunny without a wind, that 15 degrees feels like it's 25 degrees. So you can literally walk around with flip flops and shorts and you're going to be fine until you get to the shade, but you'll be fine. But it is pretty muggy, pretty, not depressing, but it's a downer. The weather there is a very downer feel to it. Yeah. So, yeah, so actually, I want to know, what do you guys think about the sound of the video of the audio recording yesterday? Because I was using the DJI with a DJI mic 2. If you leave your comments on YouTube, that'll be great. The YouTube link is actually in the description, so you can leave your comments in yesterday's episode. I just want to know how it actually sounds like, because I'm kind of curious too, because it's just curious, right? I'm just kind of curious regarding what actually sounds better. If it sounds way different than what you expect, right? Like in this recording, I actually put a bit. I'm planning to put a little bit of EQ on this recording, so it should be slightly different. Has a little bit more high end to it. But I just want to know, because again, it's all about this is all about evolving and making it sound better, right? So yeah, I just want to say good morning to everyone, and yeah. I do have some updates for you later on today. A couple of things that just came up that I do want to review, because it affects a company that I actually bought stuff from and actually asked for a to cancel my order, not because of the company itself, because of the timing itself and the integration with my whole setup. So that's that. I'll talk about that later on because I do want to address that because it's one of those things that I have to look at what is feasible with my current setup of my podcasting setup rather than it would be nice to have, right? Because ideally is just to make everything portable, right? So, but we'll talk about that later, because I definitely want to address that, and going from there. So, I am going to write my report from my yesterday's meeting, and disappoint a lot of people regarding an email I received yesterday as well too. It is 8:38 a.m. and so I just finished telling one of my project people, client, end user, because they sent me the wrong drawings. So I have to explain to them why the drawings I'm looking at is not the right ones because they gave me site drawings instead of like interior drawings. So I can't really inspect it properly without me physically being there. So I just sent an email back. So, but I did mention one thing too that I disappointed a company. It's a small company, not nothing too big. They're pretty small, but it's like I mentioned. I think I did mention that I did request a refund from not a refund, but a cancellation of an order from InstaMic. The reason why I actually cancel my pre-order is not because of the company. The company looks amazing. They do a good job. I really like their products, but unfortunately, it does not follow the workflow I'm trying to do, and it does not fit with the equipment that I'm trying to use for this channel, the audio log, and also the feature of this channel and the feature of my the other channel that I have, the Camping with Lenny. The reason why I canceled it because one, I need something that integrates better, integrates to the existing equipment that I have, and also I need something that it's less post production work. Right. In other words, it's nice to have a 32-bit recorder separately, but I have to do more work at the back end to make it to do the editing, and the amount of content I'm planning to release daily, it's not feasible enough. It's not feasible. So unfortunately, I have to cancel the order. And to be honest with you, I've been waiting for this mic to come out with USB C. I've been keeping an eye on this company since they started their crowd campaign, and unfortunately, because the lead time of 4 to 6 weeks, and and the amount, unfortunately, the lead time is long, and also it doesn't fit in with the rest of my workflow. So unfortunately, I have to cancel it. And the customer service I'm dealing with, it's great. They're very the customer service is amazing, and I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on them. And if I do ending up needing those kind of mics in the future, I'm definitely getting them instead of something else. But their products were designed for a very specific use, and it's amazing. It's they used it for the product itself gets used for weddings and motion pictures, and because they're so small and they record 32-bit, they just put them inside their clothing, and you can even see them. They blend so well, and for motion pictures, they use it for miking. Some scenes, for example, if you have characters near a plant, for example, they just put that microphone in the plant and just record it, or you put it in an engine or a motorcycle or anything like that, or even a scene that you need something that's like you need to capture a certain point of a certain aspect of the scene that doesn't covered by the typical miking techniques, and this will work perfectly. And originally, I was planning to use this mic just as a lavalier mic, or as a lavalier mic to record separately from the cameras or from the recorder itself. But unfortunately, the 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 use case of that microphone does not fit the use case that I need. So unfortunately, I had to cancel it, and definitely in the future, I definitely keep an eye. Definitely going to be putting that in my top of the list of equipment to get, especially if I need to mic something that requires a device that's small, lightweight, and needs to disappear in the background. Then yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, the way I'm planning to record camping with Lenny in the future, I don't I don't mind showing the technology of capturing the camping scenario, and that was not the point. The point is just to capture everything, right? And for the audio log podcast, the design is to just capture the essence of storytelling, not the how good am I gonna hide the technology, right? I'm planning to use the technology in the forefront to say, hey, this is the tech I'm using to capture all this, and I don't want to hide it. Im- it it takes more time to hide things than to record things. You know what I mean? I'd rather just show it and it's like, here I am. Judge me with the equipment I'm using, right? So that's why, unfortunately, that's why I have to. That's why I get the DJI Osmo Action 4. So it's three, no, four. Action 4. I forgot about it already, and it's accompanied with wireless mic 2 that pairs with it, and having that set up actually helped speed up the process because the recording that goes into the microphone is just a backup recording from the audio that's being recorded on the camera itself. And if I use the Insta mic, I have to sync them, and there's another step that I'm trying to avoid, that it's super easy to do. It takes seconds to do it, but I want to make it. I just want to speed it up more, right? Because if I decide to, if because this podcast, this audio log is daily, right? And want to make sure that it's easy for me to do the turnaround rather than taking time to edit it. I just want to make it a faster turnaround overall, right? Especially if I'm going to start doing video. So unfortunately, that's why I have to return the product itself. But no, I was excited. I was part of the pre-order, but at the same time, like after I pre-ordered it, I'm like, I started. Before I ordered it, I was looking at how to use it and how to how to how to use it, and it works well in the workflow. But at the end, it was I need something faster. So unfortunately, I have to cancel my pre-order. But yeah, Instamic. I have an account in Instamic, so I want to keep that open. I want to make sure that if there's any products that they release that that I can use, and it's going to be beneficial overall with the podcast I'm working on, the podcasts that I'm working on. I'm definitely taking that in consideration for any future equipment updates. That's the story. So, but yeah. So back to work. It is 12:07 p.m. So I just finished recording an episode of your Bookmarks podcast, and we were testing the sound before we started recording, and we realized a couple of things. We were having issues with his side regarding this clicking sound. I thought it was an RF interference. It's not an RF interference. We thought it was a cable issue, so we test. So my co-hosts remove and reconnect cables again, and I thought it was mute button. We tried everything. We officially considered, and we finally officially know the issue. The issue is actually the software. The hardware is fine. We tried everything. We even connected through Google Meets. Everything's working perfectly from there. When he turned on the Google Meets, I can actually hear the clicking sound. So when I told him to turn off Audacity, that's when the clicking sound goes away. So we've been having issues. He's been having issues with Audacity since the update. He did roll back, and it's working somewhat fine. It was a 50-50 chance that it is going to work or not going to work. So when he records something to do his test record, he hears it. It was fine. Then after that, when he pressed record again, that's when he heard the clicking sound. So what he's been doing is he's been turning, closing the app turning on it again. Then he starts recording. It comes to the point now that it's very unreliable. So because we switched to Google Meets for our sync audio, I ended up recording the whole session in my side, both his audio, my audio, separate tracks, plus the reference track, the mix down track, and we're gonna go with that route for now until we get everything sorted out. Originally, our plan is for him to do all the recording and all the syncing because he works 100% remotely. I work 100% remotely. He theoretically has more time than I do, so he he volunteered to do that. But because of we found out something wrong with this, we'll be doing it. I'll be doing it on my end just to make it easier, just to keep moving along until we figure out what's wrong. So that's kind of annoying, very very annoying. So yeah, it's just frustrated. It's just very very frustrating. So we're just going to keep doing what we our new setup, our new this way of recording until we figure this out. And I noticed that there's a lot of trucks passing by my building, a lot of dump trucks lately. So I don't know where these guys are coming from. It's very distracting, very annoying. So it's hard to do a recording with that thing keeps passing by your window. I know there is construction up the street for new condos, but as far as I know, they don't go this way to go to whatever. They always take the nearest highway just north of me. I don't know why they're going down this way. It's just this is the new thing. It just started happening today, and it's very loud. It's very distracting. During the recording, you hear the only thing you hear is like trucks, trucks after trucks after trucks. So hopefully this is a one-off thing. It's not going to be an everyday thing. If it's an everyday thing, it's really bad. It is 3:01 p.m. and I just got a call from one of my old colleagues. I haven't spoken to him since he left the company about 2 years ago. He left just after we started opening up. So yeah, it was nice to talk to him. He's a great guy. He called me for a reference for a new position that he's been recruited for. Marco, not yet, buddy. It's still early. It's not dinner time yet, Baba. Yeah, sorry. Marco woke up. I think he's looking for a little cuddle time. But yeah, no, he called me out of the blue and to say hi as well and catch up. So yeah, so to make a long story short, he left after the pandemic because of stress and all that stuff. Because we used to work together from the old company I used to work for, the same company that I left due to stress. And he's in a good place now. He's actually been recruited for another company, so he's looking at to do a jump. He called me for reference because I used to be his team lead. So they're looking for three previous manager as his three old managers. Yeah, previous managers that he works under with for reference. So that's kind of weird. Normally it's a higher level position that you're asking for that kind of reference. But I told him, yeah, sure, he can definitely use me. That's not a problem. And no, we talked for almost an hour just catching up. So it was really nice for that one as well. So yeah, even before that, I had my meeting with one of our clients, clients, and I made a design for his requirements, but this particular client, they don't give us their budget because we have a long-standing relationship with them. So they don't give us budget. They just they ask for our input and our design and the billing materials and the quote, and they let us know after that. They propose that to their end user, and the end user will say yes or no to it, or value engineer it based on the budget that they get. So we found out the project itself is not expensive. It's only $60,000. But they come back to us as like, hey, actually our budget's actually 10,000 only. We were like, oh my god, are you serious? So all the wish list that they want, but they want it cheaper. So I was like, it's one of those requests. So what I have to do is now is to figure out how to deal with this. So I have to value engineer about $50,000 out from the design. Good news is I have a one solution can actually deal with this whole thing. Is just verifying a couple of things from the manufacturer. As soon as I verify it, I can actually put that in the design. So it's just a weird request that they want something cheaper. This is why I don't like sometimes with with uh, with clients that has a amazing standing relationship with the company I work for. The expectation is, hey, can you give us a quote, and we'll let you know if it's too much or too little, or is it too much, then we can work from there. So in other words, we give them the Cadillac and the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis. Well, that's actually bad analogy, but the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the BMWs, the Mercedes. We'll let you that's our dream budget. That's the system we want to have. But we'll let you know if we can afford those ones, or we can afford a Cadillac, or we can afford a Corvette, or we can afford a, you know, a Ford Escort. So that's where we are right now. We went to the highest budget. Now we're working our way down to exactly where they wanted, and but the good news is they told us exactly what they looking for, budget wise. Unfortunately, they have to use this money before a certain time, so that's why we're kind of like, you told us to hurry up. We give you the money. We give you the design. Now you're telling us to lower it down even more. So that's where we are. Yeah, that's fun. I was planning to go out today just to get out for lunch and all that good stuff. So I'll probably just do it tomorrow instead. Just to walk around, do some exercise. I do have to return a couple of things from the store or exchange it from the store. So I'm gonna wait to do that for tomorrow for lunchtime, so I don't have to do it during the day. Plus, it gives me opportunity to go grocery shopping as well too. So yeah, so that's the more. So today was actually kind of boring. It is incredibly boring. I did work this morning. I did the recording for your bookmark podcast. After that, I went straight to another meeting, then catch up with my old colleague and send out an email, and that was it. So nothing exciting. So I think the title for this episode will be "Nothing Exciting Happened Today." Yeah, that'll be amazing. That'll be so good. But yeah. But the good news is, remember I mentioned that I was having trouble connecting to my phone using my Porta Capture X8? Well, because we used it for reference audio for the podcast. Now we don't have to worry about that because we're using Google Meets. So that actually turned out really well. So now we're recording a backup track of his recording and the reference tracks. So it actually turned out really well. I'm very happy and very impressed. The quality, Google Meets quality went up significantly. So I'm very happy with that. And I do owe you guys a very in-depth review of the Porta Capture X8. I'm actually starting putting my notes together because it's one of those recorders that everyone wants to get and using right now. And there are quirks on this recorder that if you are particularly doing a segment of of audio recording, like podcasting, just audio podcasting with USB connect with the video conferencing recording or remote recording, there's things here that no one talks about. So I'm gonna put that together and have a proper review of this unit because I think it needs to be said. I think it needs to be talked about because, like I mentioned before, it's a very good recorder, but there's quirks in this thing that needs to be addressed, that needs to be talked about. Unfortunately, no one's talking about it, so we'll be doing that for sure. Yeah, I think that's it for today. If something comes up, I'll definitely log it for this episode If not, we'll chat to you guys tomorrow.